Hello, welcome to Preach Teach Truth. I'm Preach Teach. Thank you guys so much for checking out my video. Here on this channel, I preach the Word of God to you in a way that's relatable, real, and relevant, so that you can be empowered and so you can empower those around you. So, if that interests you, please like this video and subscribe for more Christian content. Also, I need you guys to stay until the end of the video because I'll be giving you guys 2 tips to applying this word to your life. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So today we're talking about building a life with God. And here to talk about some of the difficulties we can have, as young adolescents when it comes to building this life with God. Like I explained previously in my last video, we are to leave this world behind and follow God as He has the best instructions for our life. Because He has the bird's eye view. He knows our past, our present, and our future all at the same time. He really knows what He's doing, okay? Sometimes though, it doesn't feel like that at all. And I want to encourage you guys today to continue to have faith even when it looks like God has no idea what He's doing. Trust me, this happens to me
all the time. So
today I'm speaking to you from 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 9 to 15. It says this: "For we are God's fellow workers, and you are God's field, God's building. According to the grace of God given to me, like a skilled master, I laid a foundation, and someone else is building on it. Let each one take care how he builds on it. No one can lay a foundation other than that which is Jesus Christ. Now if anyone builds on a foundation with gold or silver or precious stones or wood or hay or straw, each one's work will be made manifest, because the day is coming when it will all be revealed by fire. Yes, the fire will come and test what sort of work each one has done." That verse speaks about how we are God's project, we are God's building, and God is building something inside of us. And that's usually the hardest thing to come to grasp with for me, because so many times I have failures in my life, things that I'm trying to accomplish, things that I want to do, but I'm not succeeding in. It's super difficult for me to trust God any times of failure, right? And it may be for you. But in the end, after I've gone through it and changed my perspective, I often learn that God is successful in building something in me. So let me give you an example. You guys know the story of the 3 little pigs? An amazing story, okay? And it relates to our topic, and I'll show you why. The 3 little pigs left their mother's house in the beginning of the story. These are young pigs, okay? They're starting out their life, individual lives, okay? They're going their separate ways and they're doing things their own way. And these pigs kind of represent humans, okay? These pigs are seeking a successful life, and their biggest marker of a successful life is a big shiny house. They all want to accomplish this big house, be able to invite mama over to the house and say, "Mama, I made it." The first one goes about it the easy way, the way with less challenge, the way of compromise, the way of fast life, okay? Fast living. And gets the house successful, but not successful for long, because just like the verse says, the fire is coming to test whatever you do. You're free to build your life however you want, okay? But the fire, but the trials, but the winds are coming to test that life that you build. The person who builds their life of a fast life, easy come, easy go, will not be sustained by it. You live by the sword, you die by it. The second pig decides to compromise. And often I would say balance is the key to life, but not in this situation. Compromise is the worst place to be. At least the first pig is enjoying their fast life. They put up the house in 2 days and they're just out there enjoying themselves, just reckless. This person who's compromising has chosen to do better than that first pig, but not put in the required effort, not have the faith or the diligence, these things, these skills that you need on the inside to do it the proper way. And I've learned in my life, if it's worth doing, then it's worth doing right. This pig builds a house with sticks, which is arguably way better than building a house out of straw, but still it doesn't last. You can't cut corners in life. And that brings us to the message of this tale. The last pig builds their house with bricks. It takes way longer. The first 2 pigs are completed their house way before they've accomplished that marker of success. But this pig has a house built on the right foundation, a house that's going to last the test of times, a house that in the end serves to be a blessing to those other 2 pigs as a place of refuge. So, what am I saying? You want to build your life right. If it's worth doing, do it right. There's one person in this world that knows more about life and living than you. One person who created this earth, who created this life, who created your life, who has a plan for your life, past, present, and future. And that person is God. Okay? Building with God is going to guarantee you have the sturdiest foundation in your life. Okay? Jesus was a carpenter and God built the world. So trust me, you're in good hands. With that being said, God builds with some pretty heavy bricks. These bricks are so heavy and so big, you think they're going to kill you. What are these bricks I'm talking about? I'm talking about trials, tribulations, issues, problems, even victories. I'm talking about family members and friends. I'm talking about pets. He uses your circumstances, your fears, your skills. He uses everything, your personality, everything in this life that he introduces in your life is to build you, to build that thing in you, to remove things out of you, to chisel you into the person that he's created you to be. And by golly, it's exhausting. It can be tiring. I'm not here to lie to you folks. These bricks sometimes feel like they're gonna break me. But God understands that he has to stretch me and grow me. And now I expect God to stretch me in places that are uncomfortable, to stretch me in places that I wouldn't stretch myself in the first place, to grow in those areas that I need growth, and to remove those things, right, that are only going to stunt my growth. Maybe that comfortability level, maybe that pride, okay, or that arrogance, things like that. Will you get stumped? Yes. Will you get tired? Yes. Will you feel like you can live a pretty good enough life without God? Yeah, it's possible. But remember, it's only through God's purpose that we get our fulfillment. Whether you deny it or not, God created us for his purpose. And to live a life without his purpose will be to live a life without purpose. So yeah, you can have a decent enough life without the word of God. But I promise you, a fulfilled life is a life lived in God's purpose. And then here comes the middle of the ground question. How do I live God's purpose for my life without living with God? Guys, it's impossible. Don't deceive yourself with this middle of the road, half foot in, half foot out conclusion. I'm going to live for myself and God at the same time. I'd rather you be hot or cold. Those are not my words. God said it. Building with God often takes faith. And then when you have that faith, it often takes more faith, because God is chiseling away at something you cannot see. Think of the bamboo tree, which does not show any growth for 7 years. Think about that. 7 years you're watering something, not knowing if it's working. Some of us would give up after the first month. But then after 7 years, the bamboo tree shoots up, way up high in the sky. That's what's going on the inside of you. And you can't see it now. But God is taking you through so many things in your life. He's grown you and developed you. He's grown and developed your character. And he's still working on you today. I promise you, building with God is going to give you the best return on your investment in life. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says this: "Therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing." That verse speaks to us about not only building ourselves with God, but also seeking to do what we can for those around us. Martin Luther King said it best. Life's most important question is, what are you doing for others? That was MLK. Building with God is wonderful, but God doesn't just build you to help yourself. Just like that last pig, when you do it right, you can help others on their growth, on their character development, on their journey. So our goal here is to have faith during those trying times, during those pressing times when God is building our character and building inside of us. As we build our empires, as we build our inventions, as we build our legacies, to give God the freedom and to have the faith to let God work. I want to give you guys 2 practical tips on building with God. The first one is accountability. You have to try to establish some kind of accountability here on this earth, whether it's a friend, a pastor, a family member, okay? Whoever it can be, to help you remember the promises of God in those trying times. And you can remind them as well to cling to those promises when times become tough. Second thing is, listen folks, I encourage you guys to learn to trust the process. You gotta learn to sing in the rain, and that was the hardest thing for me to learn. But when I learned to let go of my expectations of what I wanted my life to look like, I finally learned to enjoy the process that God was putting me through. Alright guys, that's all the time I have for this video. Remember, I'm Preach Teach, reach each. Peace.